Hello, everyone, and welcome back to an all-new episode of The Game Hump. That's right, it's Wednesday night. The Game Huggers podcast is back on the air. Your midweek addiction is back, and we are here this week on November 2nd of 2016. We've got a special panel this week. Pretty excited about this, actually. We're going to talk about a few interesting hot topics. I've also got my dualfile.com website hat wearing a thingy right now. So this episode is brought to you by dualfile.com. Every single time we say dualfile, I get a $5 check in my PayPal account. So I'm pretty excited about that. Remember, dualfile.com. Also, you can, if you want to follow along on this episode with us, you can watch us live on YouTube. You can also tweet at me and ask questions at _Joshua Turbo. Don't forget the underscore, as it is the most important underscore in all of the internet. Anyway, we have a couple especially awesome guests this week. I'm going to start it off in Florida. Right? You guys are in Florida, right? Florida. Florida. In Patrick's basement at owlanonymous.com.
My basement's in Florida, buddy.
Twitch.tv. Yeah, /owlanonymous. Owlanonymous. It is Patrick and Evan.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Oh, I like how the dog thing went to the other person.
The dog part.
That's awesome. Anyway, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the show.
It's going well. Thanks for having us.
And also, for the first time ever, the first time ever, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our good friend, the one and only, Zach Spears. Welcome to the show, Zach.
Hey, how you doing?
It's a pretty big deal that you're on the show. I've been wanting to get you on this very same podcast for like 9 years now, and finally you're here, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to hear about what you've got to talk about on this week's episode of the Game Hump.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Sweet, awesome. So, how are you doing, Zach? What's new in your world?
Not much, really. I've been building Pi systems for people, Raspberry Pi systems.
Like one of these dealios? This Raspberry Pi that I'm showing here?
I can't see it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's a Raspberry Pi Model B.
Not quite like that. I've been building the Pi Zeros for people, which are the tiny little things.
Oh, sweet.
They're just really small. They run the 8-bit and 16-bit games really well, and they're pretty much limited to that.
Nice. They're very, very cool little units, and I heard that a lot of people are getting a lot of emulation fun out of them, so that's pretty groovy. I like that.
Yeah, Zach, I see you. I've seen like your posts online where you've been building those. Now, the ones that you're offering up on your Facebook group, are those are you loading it just with only PC Engine and TurboGrafx games, or are you like doing like other systems on there as well?
Well, actually, at first I was going to just put PC Engine and TurboGrafx stuff on it and be done with it, but excuse me, when I got into it, I was like, it'd be real easy to just throw a bunch of other stuff on here, so I'm kind of like loading them up to the max with a bunch of stuff. A couple of people had requested, certain things, and I said I would do it, but I just figured I would do that for everyone.
Yeah, you just copy the same image over. That's pretty cool.
Well, I've actually not learned how to do the image copying yet, which I'm stupid. I'm just basically putting the RetroPie image on there and then loading the ROMs via flash drive or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Which is really tedious.
I can show you how to do the image like copying. As long as the SD card is the exact same, it will copy right over for you.
See, I'm having a problem, like, and it's like random. It randomly happens. Like sometimes it'll work perfectly, and okay, all the ROMs work fine, right? They've all been tested and stuff. All 6,000 of them individually tested, but the Super CD-ROM games that I'm putting on there, sometimes the sound won't work. Like the games will load up fine, but the sound will not work. And I'll go back and I'll make sure that the Q files are edited and people that are listening to this probably don't know what I'm talking about, but sometimes I'll go back and check and make sure, and everything looks like it's like legit and stuff, but it still won't have any sound to them. So I have to reflash everything and start from scratch. It's really tedious.
Yeah, that's weird. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, but like once you get like your image right, then you should be able to just take that image and like copy it over to the several different SD cards and have those all ready to go.
Right. You don't have to do it, but you don't have to do it anymore ever again after that.
No, yeah, you just dupe it.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I need that so bad.
Yeah, I would just like work on getting like your one image like working correctly, and then and then just copy it over and over.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I did a stream where I did a Raspberry Pi 3 image, and I copied everything over, and I have that. And then if somebody wants one, I just copy them. I tell them to buy this exact SD card, because if it's any different, you have to adjust the bytes, and it's a pain in the ass. You have to extract it.
Even the brand name and everything, like
exact same, yeah, because like a 32 gigabyte Samsung is not exactly going to be the same as a 32 gigabyte,
right,
or whatever,
or something.
Yeah,
really? I've been using 16 gigabyte Samsung. Let me look at it real quick. The Samsung Evo, I think.
Yeah,
but I've been using that. I just bought like a bunch in bulk, and I've been using those, so it should be easy to just, if I get one image, everybody can have the same thing.
Yeah. I'll send you a message tomorrow about it.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
that's cool. And like when you do projects like that, like offering them up to like a bunch of people too. Like a lot of the times they don't realize like how much time you put into making that. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like when people do those kinds of things, because it's kind of like it's like something that's you're offering up for like a community of people, and that's really awesome. And a lot of people might not have the time or the skill set, even handle setting up a Raspberry Pi.
Well, I had a few people.
Like, still, it's like some people might not know anything about it, so now they can enjoy that.
I had a few people write me and say things like, "Well, why don't you just tell people to buy the system themselves and set it up? It'd be real easy, and they would only have to pay $5." And I'm like, dude, what I'm including in mine is basically the Raspberry Pi itself, an AC adapter, an HDMI cable, a mini USB adapter, and a controller. And all together, because I'm buying the Pi systems for like $12 or $13 a piece, depending on the seller. And because everyone says you can find those things for $5, and I've not been able to find them for $5 anywhere. But basically, I'm making about $10 at the end of it all. I'm making about $10 a piece, which is enough to ship it to wherever.
Right.
So I'm not really doing it for money or anything.
And minus your time. How much is your time worth? So it's like you're breaking even barely.
Well, I guess I'm lucky that I like doing stuff like that. It just starts to become tedious whenever you allow it to feel like a job or a chore.
Exactly.
Sometimes I slip into that mode, and I'm like, God damn it.
Why am I doing this?
What have I gotten myself into? But I like doing it, so I take a day break from it, and then I get back to it.
As long as it ships with Magical Chase, that's all we care about, right?
As long as I can like $2,000. Yeah.
As long as they can show that Magical Chase screenshot.
Magical Chase. Magical Chase. So I've been tinkering around with this thing too, and you're talking about how some people don't have the time, or some people don't have the patience or even intelligence to do this. I'm not a genius by any means, but like mine, for whatever reason, I'm having a hell of a time with it. I've tried to flash an OS for RetroPie onto a 32 gig SD card twice, and both times it's failed. The first time it basically did nothing. I tried to do it in Linux using Unix, Linux, whatever, using terminal, trying to flash it over, and it said it was successful. It wrote the RetroPie OS onto the SD card, but when I went to check the SD card, like physically check it, it was completely empty. So when I plugged it into the Raspberry, I didn't know, maybe that's how it's supposed to look. I had not looked into it real deep, and so I put it into the Raspberry Pi, hooked it all up, and then I hooked up the HDMI to a TV, and it nothing. Like plugged it in, and it did nothing. Like no output, no nothing. I'm like,
if you plug it into a Windows computer, it shows up as boot, I believe, and then nothing else until you plug it into the Raspberry Pi itself.
Your SD card might not be compatible either.
Oh, that would suck. So then I went to Windows and I used a program that Zach pointed me in the direction of. I can't think of exactly what the name of it was, but it was ran it and it went through the whole process and it said it was successful. And then I looked at the actual folder structure, the directories, and it had all these folders in it, like the boot folders and all this stuff, like usual Linux, root directories and things like that. And I was like, okay, cool, this is awesome. So then I put it back in the Raspberry Pi, plugged it in, and this time I had 2 LED lights blinking on and off, like it was definitely trying to access something. And then I connected a wire to the TV, the HDMI wire, and it still had the black screen and wasn't doing anything. So,
Well, just from my personal experience with what I've been doing recently, I've noticed that if I try to boot one up for the first time and the HDMI cable is not plugged in to the TV, and then I turn the TV on to the channel or whatever, it's a black screen until you try to reboot it again. Like you can't get it to come on. Like I don't know if that's the same thing you're talking about or not, but I've had that happen a couple times.
maybe.
Yeah, there's no plug and play in Linux, or at least in this distribution. You have to have the TV hooked up and on. So it sends a signal out there to see what resolutions it can actually spit out.
Yeah.
And then it will sit it on. If you just connect it after it's already booted, it's going to be a black screen.
I assumed it was reading it as like a monitor or some, like it would, like a computer would a monitor.
Yeah. Maybe I messed that
I
up.
can help both of you guys with that. I have a popular YouTube video which I get kind of drunk and set up a RetroPie. You guys are welcome to watch.
I'll check it out.
It's on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Or you
So
can just ask me questions.
when you did the Raspberry Pi, though, the Pi 3, all the flash and everything, you actually did a video and it's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's like 2 hours
awesome.
long. And
Holy shit.
I have trouble, it's like the main gist of it's like the first 30, and then I like copy the ROMs and try to set up the wireless controllers and all that stuff.
Wow.
I have a Pi 3 also, and I've had a real, like I bought a pre-made Pi 3 from someone locally, and I've had a real bitch of a time trying to get a Bluetooth controller connected to it.
Yeah, I had issues as well. I tried 2 different Bluetooth controllers. It recognizes it. It recognizes the inputs, but it doesn't put into the game. I think you have to manually write a RetroArch config.
It was recognizing the one that I used with it too, but it wasn't, registering any of the commands from it.
Yeah, I haven't gone back and looked at it, but I need to.
Well, before this entire hour turns into a RetroPie discussion, which I'd be fine with, honestly. I'd like to kind of
go retro topic.
It is a pretty retro topic, totally. I kind of wanted to go through a couple topics, and before Zach gets to his GameStop story, which I've heard is going to be a spectacular rant, I was curious if you guys wanted to share some recent pickups. Yay! I know everyone loves pickups videos. But I was curious if anybody had gotten anything cool recently, because I've gotten a couple things I'm kind of stoked to talk about.
Why don't you start then?
Okay, I'll start then. Cool. On the Turbo Town Facebook page, someone was putting up a bunch of Lucy PC Engine games, and I got this one for $14, I think it was. So that's a blur. Oh, that's really nice glare. SCI. Special Criminal Investigations.
Did you get that from John Stover?
I got it from John Stover, yep.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
He is a very cool guy, yep. I think I met him at the Midwest Classic last year. Either that
He's got
or...
a good band.
Yeah, he does, yep. So those Taito game from 1991 for the PC Engine. So
I would love to play that arcade game. Like I think it had like a world release. Like I know there's cabinets, but I've never had a chance to actually play the original arcade game somewhere. That could be really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played it either. Then I got a new PCFX game, and I'm pretty stoked about this. It was $6 on eBay. It is Team Innocent.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
I can't wait for that translation.
If it ever gets completed, yes. Oh, so cool.
I've tried to get through it too. Even with a guide, it's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's very tough. It's a. From what I remember, it was a pretty good game, though. I remember I played the CDR of it way back when I used to have a PCFX the first time I got one, and I was not the most impressed with this game. But like, the more I watch videos and stuff of it, it's like, okay, I could probably figure out how to play it.
It's
So-
it's like really unique. It's kind of like kind of like Burn Cycle kind of era of like CDI and like whatever, like where it's kind of like pre-rendered or pre-made like 3D graphics, and then it has like the cheesy like PCFX like 2D sprite on top of it. I think it's really cool, and and just like the settings and everything is really sweet now. And I know a lot of people like that game's like style and aesthetic, like on like Tumblr and stuff, but I think it's really unique and like hopefully it gets translated. That's like my top like thing. Like, oh, I just want to play this game so bad.
Yeah,
for
that-
PCFX.
The aesthetic alone makes me want to play it.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
very cool.
that and Metal Shader Glory are the two games I want the most to get translated over. You ever see that one?
No,
It's a Famicom. It's like one of the last Famicom games, or I think it's actually the last Super Famicom game. But there's a Famicom game as well, and it's a whole storyline dealing with space and like people having to like this kid and his mom having to escape and these aliens and all this kind of really cool aesthetic.
it's cool.
I have a really funny story about Burn Cycle. I'm not going to tell it right now, but I'll tell it later. It's really funny.
And then I had a friend on Etsy, ETSY, made me a couple Sega Saturn reproductions. Yeah, I know, right? If you have the Anyway, he made some pretty sweet looking cases. I got reproductions, evil reproductions, right?
We'll talk about it.
We've talked about it in the past. I don't necessarily support a lot of the people, like, I don't know, like some of them that are pretty rotten with stealing other people's work and selling it as their own and making it way overpriced, or else trying to like pass it off as the originals. That's pretty scummy shit. Like, yeah, but this is a fan translation of a game that never came out in the U.S.
Dragon Force 2.
Nice. I'm all for translations.
Cool.
Yeah, this actually just came out this year, the final version of the fan translation, and it's got all the different stories, all 4 different stories that you can go through, all translated. It's really, really well done. The cutscenes are really, really awesome in this game. I just started playing it. I've never even played technically all the way through the first one. I played through one story of the first one, and I absolutely loved it. So really looking forward to playing through this one. And then another one that was a big deal that was translated recently on the Saturn is Police Knots.
Speaking of which,
I want to play it so bad. Cool.
Here you go, buddy.
I played Snatcher all the way through not that long ago, so I'm kind of like fresh in my mind.
I can't see it.
I made everybody Police Knots 3-disc translations because the translation was a pain.
Yeah, so
nice.
I'm anticipating playing that. Really cool game.
Yep. So like the guys made CDs with like pretty decent art and stuff on them.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah, I did that. That translation was released, but man, was that a pain in the ass to patch.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You did the translation for Police Knots?
No, he said the. Wait, what did you say? You worked on the translation for Police
No,
Knots?
the patch to apply it.
Oh,
It took me about an hour to extract and get the files in correct format.
Yeah.
Edit the cues, and everything.
I downloaded that the other day, actually.
So I'm kind of stoked about that one. I heard that the PS1 version of the translation was done as well, and it's a lot easier to play on something like a PS3 or a PSP.
Yeah, the original one was done about 2 years prior, and the reason why you want to play a lot of people that are fan of the game say that the Police Knots version is the definitive version.
PlayStation version?
Sorry, the Saturn version. I'm sorry. It has less censorship. And there's a few like storylines aren't explored in the PlayStation version.
The most full motion video is full screen.
That
it's
too,
bigger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, more frames per second too.
Yeah.
I think it's 24 versus like a 15 or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Huh. Cool.
Can you guys hear my mic all right?
I can hear your mic just fine, buddy.
Okay. I can't hear it.
Wait, you were saying about like games that you want to see translated more than anything in the whole world. You know what game I would like to see translated more than anything in the whole world? Cosmic Fantasy 3. Just because I want to see what happens after Cosmic Fantasy 2. Even if it isn't technically
like
the
time
sequel.
to like play through that whole game, so I feel kind of guilty about that.
It's not exactly the best game in the world, but it's like the presentation that Working Designs put into it was really, really well done.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see is more of those. Like there's the first one we missed out on. We got the second, which is great, but then we missed out on the third, and then the two-parter that was the fourth one. It's like, damn, I want these games to be translated so bad. So can't we just create more of like Sam I Am's?
Zach, did you have any pickups?
I got Street Fighter Zero for Saturn,
Cool.
Nice.
and it didn't come yet, but I got Dark Savior for Saturn as well.
There you go.
And let me think. Super Mario 3D World for the 3DS,
Sweet.
and that's it.
Nice,
Cool.
dude.
I got. I'll show you guys. I got a legit copy of Battletoads
Battletoads, yay.
It's so fun.
because I plan on speedrunning it, which is going to be hell.
It's so fun.
That's gonna be hell. Good luck,
I
man.
picked up a bunch of action replays because I learned how to flash them for the Saturn to be
Nice.
able to do the
Awesome.
pseudo Saturn, so people can play backups. So I'm selling those different. Like they're like $60 if you try to buy them flashed online, and you can buy them for $24. So I just picked up like 4 of them, and I'm gonna use them as trade bait.
Yep. I think
I
Zach
got-
does that. He does the flashing of the pseudo Saturn, don't you, Zach?
Oh, cool.
I have one, and I learned how to update after it's already been flashed. I learned how to update or change the flash that's on it.
Cool. I got a new old stock Super Game Boy 2. So it was like brand new. It was sealed. It was kind of a beautiful thing to open up.
What's
Has
the
all the
advantage of that?
What's that?
What is that? What does it do? What is the advantage?
Super Game Boy 2 actually has the processor of the Game Boy. The original Super Game Boy, the one that we got in the US, runs a little about 10% too fast. So for
Really?
speedrunning, it is not accurate. You have to actually adjust your time afterwards.
Oh,
The
weird.
Super Game Boy 2 has additional backgrounds as well, like effects, like Donkey Kong. It has like a bunch of cool effects and backgrounds. And
Wow.
yeah, it has, and it's beautiful. It's like clear and blue too, so it's kind of cool looking.
It was almost made for Pokemon because you can fight and share your trade Pokemon Game Boy to Game Boy, and that has the Game Boy link.
Yeah, it has the link on the side.
Yeah, and so I mean, like that's half of this is it was kind of pretty much made for that, and then they did updates to it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I want to do one night of Church of Nintendo, or maybe at Free Play.
Yeah,
Have 4 of these linked up with Tracks, because Tracks is a 4-player game.
yeah, it's cool. You can do like the verse to verse, Tetris Game Boy, with the link cable. It's really sweet.
And then I have one more pickup. I have I ordered 4 GB Boys, those Game Boy Color ripoffs.
Yeah.
And the reason why I had a previous one, and my only fault with the system was it didn't have a 4:3 screen ratio. It was more like almost like a 16:9. And if you look on this, the image that they're showing is a 4:3 screen plus, at least on here on the back image, it has like the exact same audio amp card that the Game Boy Color has. So we thought it was an exact clone with a 4:3 screen. So I got 2 purples, 2 greens. Turns out it's the same stupid bad ratio screen.
Lots of built-in games that are
So
like
does it play the
Chinese
Game Boy
hacks.
game?
It plays Game Boy Game and Game Boy Colors. And still, don't get me wrong, this is $33 on AliExpress. There's a purple one. They are perfect Game Boy clones. There's actually this does not compute on YouTube. It has a video where he takes it apart and dissects it. It actually has a reproduction of the Nintendo Game Boy Color CPU, the RAM chip, everything. Like it has like a Sony RAM chip. Like this thing thinks it's a Game Boy Color.
Oh, crazy.
It says 188 built-in games, but it's actually 66 games repeated 3 times, and they're Game Boy games.
And some are like weird, like hacks or just
Yeah.
like Chinese, like mahjong kind of, not mahjong, but just like
Shanghai.
tile games.
Are there some
you know?
games? Are there some games on there that they count each level as a independent game?
No, that'd be amazing though.
Cheetah
the old-
Men. Cheetah
that's what
Men
the old
2.
multi-cards were.
The thing this thing has going for it though is it has a beautiful backlit screen. So
Oh, so it is
back-
backlit.
Yeah, it's backlit. It's the best way to play Game Boy Color games.
It's nice. Like I got to try it like for the first time recently, and it's way better than getting like a backlit modded Game Boy. It's way better. There's like no ghosting.
No,
it looks really
it's better
good.
than getting a modded Game Boy Color because the Game Boy Colors can't be backlit. They're frontlit with Loca.
Yeah,
my backlit Game Boy is still the freaking shit.
Well, you can put the screen from a
Don't say an SP.
Game Boy Advance SP, like the bad screen model.
Yeah,
you could put that in a Game Boy Color.
Okay, yeah. I have a Game Boy Advance up there with that 101 screen in it too.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's my pickups.
Nice. I like it. What about playing like original Game Boy or Game Boy Color games in an SP? Wouldn't that be like the best way to?
That's a great way to play it too. But again, the screen's actually on the SP for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. It's shrunk down to a tiny little square.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
So, like honestly, the best way is either Super Game Boy 2 or the GameCube has a Game Boy player, and there's actually you can get those things for super cheap. And if you have a modded Game Boy, you can use because the thing that's the most expensive is the little disc. It's like $40. The Game Boy interface. But there's an open source Game Boy interface that's actually better. I forgot what it's called right now, but it has a lot more options.
Oh, crazy!
And that plays Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, and Game Boy Color.
Nice.
I haven't had like anything new really, except for somebody traded me a Vice Project Doom for NES for some he wants me to like burn him some Unibios ROMs and some other chips in the future, but I've been like real busy lately. But that's really cool because like that's a game like I've kind of been wanting to pick up for a really long time. Like when I don't buy NES games online, I only pick them up locally because I kind of feel like there's like that's like the most fun old system to dig through the cart bins at like game stores, and so I kind of feel like there's like all these games that I've kind of always wanted. I've kind of collected NES my whole life, and so like if I find it locally in some cart bin, that's awesome. It's exciting still, and that's kind of like the last system that I feel like I could do that for. So somebody traded me that locally. That was pretty cool. Other than that, I bought some games from eBay maybe like a month or two ago, and I had them sent over Sal, and it was a bunch of cheap like Super Famicom and N64 games for my kids, but that's pretty much it.
I like Nintendo a lot for doing things exactly like what you're talking about, because you never know when you're going to go to a garage store, or a thrift store, or a garage sale, or a thrift store, or some kind of a pawn shop or something, and see NES carts, and you're just like, because I remember maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I spent like $25 on Battletoads on eBay because I had to have it, and then the next week, I saw it sitting at a thrift store for like $6, and it's like. Yeah. Damn it! If I had just been patient,
and it's like only NES that will happen,
Right.
Like there's still like NES was just so there's just so many games out there, floating around still,
NES and Genesis. I can find Genesis stuff around too, like that.
Yeah. I find nothing but sports crap for Genesis. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I've run into some pretty good deals. I found Shining in the Darkness, Phantasy Star 4 in the wild like that for cheap, super cheap, just
nice.
like.
I like Shining in the Darkness a lot. That's an awesome game.
So do I.
That's one of the best Shining games in my opinion.
What is that?
Shining in the Darkness.
Like the Shining Force games, but it's a little different than the Shining Force. It's more of
sort of a first-person RPG, kind of like Dungeon Master was a little bit.
Sorry.
It's different than like the Shining Force games. Though. It's kind of a little like it's more like a kind of like King's Quest meets Shining Force.
So you ever play?
Did
you ever play Arcana on the Super Nintendo?
Arcana was dope.
Arcana is awesome, and it reminds me of Shining in the Darkness. Shining in the Darkness has a lot of character, though, and a lot of personality. Like, every character in town is, like, either a jerk or cool, or, like, there's, like, no filler characters.
Speaking of Shining in the Darkness, I have a question that somebody may be able to answer. On PS1, like one of the first launch games was called Beyond the Beyond. Does anybody remember that?
No.
I do, but I never played it.
Well, it is so much like the way it's set up. You know how when the Shining in the Darkness games start, or the Shining games, they all start the same way. And it starts exactly like that, and the character design looks exactly the same and everything. Like I always thought that was kind of like a lost cousin or something to the Shiny games.
Awesome.
Have you ever played that, Josh? Like,
I actually never have, but I've always seen the cases for it, and I'm like, this looks lame because it's on the PlayStation.
It's
but
a very mediocre JRPG. But I mean, everything about it just screams that same design or same artist or whatever. You know what I mean? You should check out a video at least. You know what I mean?
Totally.
See what I'm talking about.
Well, hey, not to interrupt, but our whole like group of giggling geese is all full. We're all set now because Sarumaro has joined the podcast. How's it
Hi,
going,
guys.
Saru?
Not too
Hello.
bad. Sorry I was late.
No, it's all right.
Super late.
You're just fine. You're just in time. We actually hadn't even really gotten going yet. We were just talking about some pickups on anything that we've recently picked up in the gaming world.
Oh.
So if you've got anything you'd like to share with us, otherwise we're going to jump right into our first topic.
No, actually, the only thing I bought recently was King of Fighters 14, 15,
17, 18, 19,
22.
22.
I don't know, there's so many.
I know, right? It's tough because they didn't number them until like what, 11, then they did 11, 12, and 13, and 14.
What are those two doing? What is
I don't
Owl
know.
doing? Owl and his pirate puppy friend.
Sarumaro, you don't know 90s Cyber Thriller? It's kind of famous.
He's kind of famous.
Punky Cyborg on
Oh, yes. Okay. Hi.
What's up, buddy?
Word Up.
You
So
should.
what are you talking about?
Do you still have your CDI, Evan?
Actually, I got rid of all my CDI stuff. I cashed out on it all. Like, CDI stuff just kept like finding me. Like, I'd go to like a thrift store or a trade school. People would just give me stuff. Like, even a person at work was like, "Oh, I like games. I got some stuff for you," and he just like gave me tons of CDs. I was like,
Some box of games.
I've owned maybe 5 CDI players, and I had like everything, and I just kept finding it or whatever. It was crazy. I'd go to the thrift store and like there was a CDI. It was at 410 almost like a duo. I've owned like 2 of those, and like, but I played them with my friends and like late night, like let's play some CDI, and we play some really crappy game, and it was fun, but I got rid of it all because and I cashed out on it. I used it to buy other game stuff that is actually fun, so I don't regret it. But no, I don't have any CDI stuff anymore. Like I had a really sweet CDI collection too. I had like all of the
top tier
games and
Burn Cycle and the Zelda.
Yeah, Burn Cycle, Dark Castle. Actually, you know what? I've had more fun playing the worst game ever, Dark Castle, than any other game on CDI because it's just so bad. And it's fun to play because it's just the worst.
Did you ever have a Mario Hotel?
I didn't have Mario Hotel, and I didn't have Zelda's Adventure or whatever that one is, the third Zelda game. Yeah. It's like really. I didn't have that. I had the other 2. I had Link's Awakening and Zelda, whatever the other Zelda game is.
Mario Hotel is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I didn't have that, and I wish I got that. I wish I had that, and I wish I got Mad Dog McCree with the gun, and I wish I had the one that has Hulk Hogan, or what is he in it?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan has a game on it too.
I wish I had Thunder. I wish I had those 2 games and Voyeur.
It was always CDR.
And I didn't have Voyeur, but I got rid of all my CDI stuff. I had like video cards for all of them. I had just this crazy. I even went to a little swap meet that's like it's like on a Friday. It's like a Friday swap meet in like the parking lot of a drive-in theater, and it's like there's like never any game stuff there. But I was driving past it. It's usually just like. It's like this is a real swap meet where it's like people with like an 80s conversion van that's junky with like they maybe they live in it, I don't know, and they just like pull up and they're just selling some like just junk, and like this guy had just a pile of like DVD players and stuff, and I found another CDI there. So,
but you can't find me a single new one.
I have a new one. You want my new one?
Oh, I didn't know you had one.
You have it.
Yeah. I've been looking one for
what's funny? I actually found a CDI just like that before. In the same manner, exactly the same way. Like a guy at a flea market had a big van full of junk, and he thought it was like a DVD player or something.
Yeah.
And it didn't have the controllers or the hookups or anything. and he wanted like $20 for it, so I grabbed it, and I have not used it.
Yeah, it's only, I think it's only fun to like play with friends when you're like been drinking or had a, been hanging out, and it's like it's almost only fun for a laugh,
Yeah.
It's
like a bad B movie.
You can really try to like the Link game or whatever, and it's just
you can't.
It's just not fun. It is just brutally annoying. It's just they're so bad.
Yeah, I've gotten that impression. I had a CDI a long time ago, but I never wound up getting any games for it. This is like in like 2000 or 2001, and then I just never got any games for it. And then somebody offered me money for it. I'm like, yeah, just take it. I'll never use this thing. And yeah,
now,
I'm curious though, because I always wanted to try all the Zelda games and stuff like that. And
they're not Zelda games.
I know they're not Zelda.
They
games.
Are as bad as people say they are.
Yeah, it's good for that. If you find a CDI somewhere, pick it up, try the games out. You're gonna spend $100 for a freaking controller, but
do
when
it.
you're done with it, like you can pass it on.
Do
to
a
the next
PCFX.
person. Yeah.
Do a try, play, and then sell.
Oh, PCFX is fun though. I'm actually having a pretty good time with it this time. But the CDI had that one beat 'em up, that one side-scrolling beat 'em up with like it's like heavy metal characters, something like
that. What did CDI?
Yeah.
I don't.
Bullshit.
No, for real. There's one side-scrolling beat 'em up on the CDI that a lot of people enjoy, and it's like really dark, and it's got animation the style of like the heavy metal movie.
Yeah,
it's really rare, and it's supposed to be pretty cool if you can find the name of it. But otherwise, Zach, don't you have a funny like burn cycle story you wanted to share with us?
Okay, well, it's kind of an old story. Like when I was younger and the CDI was first coming out and stuff, like my dad, like I guess you just kind of have to know my dad. He's like a stern guy. Like he was very stingy with money, like and he didn't buy a whole lot of things. He was an audiophile though, and he would buy himself all these really awesome stereo component stuff. You know what I mean? But one time we went to an electronics store. I can't even remember which one, and they had a CDI displayed where you could play it and stuff, right? And I was just wandering around waiting for him to get done looking at whatever he was looking at, and I looked over and he was like playing Burn Cycle. And I walked over there and I was like, "What is this?" And I'm not gonna lie, I'll admit it, I was impressed. I was like, "Wow, this looks awesome." And the sales guy walked up to him and talked to him, and like within 15 minutes, the guy had him convinced to buy a CDI. And we were at the register, and they had the thing sitting there, and like at the last second, my dad was like, "Let's go," and he didn't buy it. He had a pretty good premonition about things, I think. He just backed out literally at the last second. He was like, "We don't need this junk."
Yeah.
This is a week's worth of groceries.
We don't need this piece of crap.
The CDI game is called Mutant Rampage Body Slam, and it actually does look really impressive.
Yeah, it's not like the control for it is really bad, and it plays like a CDI game. So as soon as you start playing it or seeing a video of it, you're like, oh yeah, this is not that great. However, it has really crazy cutscenes, like really gory, and almost like it's very like mature. And apparently it's really, really comical. I mean, if you can get past some of the really awkward play control, from what most people have said, it's actually pretty fun. Like
it was remastered for the PS4 and the PS Vita.
Are you serious?
If you'd like to just play it on there.
Oh, maybe that would be better.
I'm sure. A little bit better.
You think?
One of the things I did like about the CDI was it was a video CD player, and if you guys know me, you know that I'm like deep into like dead format stuff. Like, I love Laserdisc, VHS, just like 80s movies. And so it was a lot of fun watching some of the VCDs that I had. Like I had Total Recall and is it Basic Instinct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Basic Instinct, and I had Anaconda maybe? I don't know. It was something else. And Total Recall is like super cheesy, and it's so cool, and it just like lends itself to the VCD format. Like it looks so good because there's so much other stuff that's kind of like he's like communicating with people through like they're sending like video images, and he has to like progress through a story like that, and it kind of like looks perfect in VCD format. So I think that was really cool. Like it was just perfect. Like I almost would prefer watching Total Recall on VCD format on a CDI over any other format because of that. So
I just remembered my first like holy crap, this is technology moment was we had high-speed internet at my college, which was actually a big deal because I'm a little bit older. And
T1.
My first movie that I had that was actually in theater at the same time was a video CD disc, and it was The Matrix.
It's cool.
And it was on 3 discs.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
And it was a cam rip that was on video CD, but it felt like you were like flipping off every cop you saw, like the movie industry, not cops. I love cops or police officers, but it was very, very amazing. Like
that's like the perfect movie to have like
.vcd
to have that version.
Yeah. I probably watched it like 20 times.
Yeah.
I think VCD was cool for a time that the only other option was VHS. It was really the only way to watch movies on optical media was on VCD. I had one of the Saturn VCD cards, like the little JVC cards. And so I used to get all this like Hong Kong anime because you can get that stuff for cheap. It was always like $5, for whatever anime, and just watch it. At the time, I didn't really know a whole lot of Japanese, but it was cool to just watch anime on optical disc versus VHS.
Did they have subtitles as well, or
no? Usually they were just.
I wonder if the official
Japanese.
video CDs had subtitles or not.
Then maybe. The problem was that it wasn't really a viable format in America. We went from VHS pretty much straight to DVD.
Yeah,
Laserdisc too, though. No, we had Laserdisc.
Yeah, we had Laserdisc. I remember going to the
Laserdisc never
lots of
took over
Laserdisc.
like
We had
mainstream.
the Betamax, bro. Come on.
Laserdiscs were around for like 30 years, but it never was the #1 media.
Guys, there's a
I love
local
Laserdisc,
Laserdisc
yeah.
collection. How big is that? 8,000?
He saw it for $8,000, which is it's
Walls and walls of
like,
Laserdisc. Alphabetical.
It was over 3,000 Laserdiscs, but like still it was like it was over like the price, like even like the price per disc was just too much. Because how much junk you're gonna get, and it's impossible to like move. But it's insane.
I just want to go cherry pick. Be like, yep.
Want that?
Yep.
I'm sure everybody's like, I'll only buy this if like I only buy the horror, and then you keep the rest. Like anybody wants for Laserdisc is horror.
Let me get that red Evil Dead or Army of Darkness Laserdisc edition.
Rad on Laserdisc, $300.
Holy crap, that'd be amazing.
Rad. That movie's awesome.
One of the most expensive Laserdisc
Is it?
releases. Yep.
Holy
Really?
shit.
$300 at least.
Just get the Radical Pinball game. That's close enough.
Wasn't
Only
that guy's
couple of
name in that movie Crew? Was that
I don't know.
the
I haven't
lead
seen
character's
Rad
name?
in a
Crew?
long time.
I just listened to the Rad soundtrack.
Like
I don't
Motley Crue?
probably.
That one, BMX Bandits, those two movies kind of go hand in hand. They're pretty cool.
I wonder if that what's the breakdancing film? I wonder if that's on Laserdisc.
Breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost every major movie, especially from like the 80s and 90s up to like about 95, was on Laserdisc. So
Did Laserdisc have compression? No, it's analog, right?
It's analog.
Yeah,
And
It's analog, yeah.
what a lot of people like about it, especially if you get like widescreen format stuff with analog audio, is it's almost more close to the like theatrical presentation than a DVD.
Okay.
Because a lot of DVD stuff has compression, the audio is digital, and so if you're like one of those kind of people, it's like was like an audio file at the time and a video file at the time, then you can argue that was the best format. But nowadays it's not really the case. But now people are just nostalgic for that. So
Right.
Yeah, the last Laserdiscs that I was aware of that came out were like right around 2001. I think the Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers came out on Laserdisc.
Oh wow.
yeah, Matrix is a late release, and a lot of those late Laserdiscs are like highly coveted for collectors.
Yep.
Like Matrix is very like sought after.
Well, how many discs that is?
On Laserdisc?
It's probably 2 discs.
Probably just 2, yeah. You can do front and back. So
I
it's
forgot that. Yeah, you
60
flip
minutes.
sides. The
Yep.
fancy ones flip it for you.
They
Yeah.
do. That's the one I got.
Oh, really? Nice.
Mine gets stuck when it flips. Like it does the flip, and then like the disc gets stuck, and I'm like, damn it.
Oh no.
Open it and
Have
pull
you
the disc
ever opened that up and seen how like the laser, works around the
amazing.
disc? It's so cool. Like,
It's like
Yeah,
an
it's like-
amusement park.
yeah, it's the neat. I took mine open and I was just like fascinated with like flipping the disc because it's like the laser goes along a rail and it goes all the way around. It's like so much mechanical stuff in there. It's really
Were you
impressive.
trying to fix one and then you're like, holy shit, I didn't realize how complex this was?
The one I picked up one and I just kind of like cleaned it up a little bit, but yeah, it's if it broke, it would be like a nightmare to fix.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's like so many
Yeah, it would.
components in there like that are all working together, like metal gears and then like plastic railing pieces that will have to be aligned properly. So you can imagine. And there's a couple players that are like dual side auto flip. So they have like this like really complex thing where you have both laser discs in the player, and then it has like a slot on the back of it. And so the laser goes around a rail like once and then up and around again.
What?
It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, they're really crazy. But like as you imagine, if one of those broke, it's just like
Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
pretty
is that the hentai engine things you have behind you?
it is.
That's pretty sexy, man.
I see some skirts.
What are there faces? Are there different faces, or are there two different characters?
They don't need faces. They just need a beat from
Rude.
the chest down. No, just kidding. Yeah, they have
So I
faces.
see. I
Are you
see
gonna
like
make body pillows of those.
Yeah, can I get a? That's already actually pretty well formatted for body pillow.
Yeah, just
I
stuff
get-
it, dude.
Can I get
Send
that
them.
on
right?
one side and the other girl on the other side?
Sure.
so there's a
I'll make it
there's a
happen for you.
the Henshin engine girl on one side that is a PC engine representative, and then the other girl on the left is
Oh,
what,
yeah.
Mega Drive.
That's
Mega
so
Drive.
cool.
You know,
Wow.
you can make that like
those
the
are totally-
ultimate. Like if you're still doing your Kickstarter, like the ultimate stretch goal.
Kickstarter Ultimate Stretch.
Kickstarter is over.
Workout stretch
Henshin
goal.
engine body pillow.
That's actually not a bad idea. They're big enough files to where that
They're
would
exactly
work.
big enough. That's actually as big as my body pillow.
I mean, I would carry that around in anime convention with pride.
What? And
I
owl-
mean, girlfriend. I wish I had a body pillow. You know what body pillow I'd actually buy? Rico from Mushima-sama.
They
Has
wear
a-
out.
has a
They wear
body
out
pillow.
really easily, though.
Someone's got to make one, I'm sure.
I just went to a Halloween party and I couldn't think of a costume, so like I went as really obnoxious weeaboo, and like I was like talking to my wife, I'm like, can I please go pick up a body pillow to carry around? She's like, no. So like I just like printed up a picture of some anime girl, and I put her like in a little frame. I was like carrying her around. So
How many freaking costumes you had? You murdered freaking Motorhead,
yeah,
and then I saw you as a different costume.
that was it. Motorhead and weeaboo. So
Yeah. No, what was the one for Eddie's?
that was the weeaboo.
Oh, I just thought you were just yourself.
yeah.
All right. So okay.
Sorry.
No.
Hi,
Body
Internet.
pillows.
Body
Welcome
pillow
to our
truck is
conversation.
awesome. Zach, now you had an interesting experience at a GameStop recently, right?
Oh God.
Oh God. So I want to kind of talk to you, hear your story, hear it a little bit, and then kind of talk about, just have a little bit of a roundtable discussion for the next 15 minutes about how buying games has changed since the 90s compared to 2016, and what's better, what's worse, yada yada yada.
Oh God. Okay. So
Let's hear it.
I don't go to GameStop a whole lot. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I love retro gaming, but I also play new games too.
You son of a bitch. I'm muting your
Yeah.
mic.
How dare me? But
That's all good.
okay, so a while back, maybe I don't know, like 6 months ago or something, my 3DS got stolen, and I got a new one, and I was really happy, and I wanted to buy the Sega 3D Classics game.
Oh yeah.
So we were by GameStop, and we pulled over, and I said, I'm going to run in and grab this game really quick. It'll just take a second. I know what I'm after, and I'll be right back. So I walked in, and there was no one in the store but me and one other guy. So I went up to let me put this in perspective. After wading through 6 miles of unnecessary bullshit, like action figures and belts and purses and fucking statues and posters and fucking video game character condoms and what the fuck ever you can imagine. I finally got to the video game section of GameStop. And so I go over and I get the game and I get in line behind this guy, right? And this guy is talking to the girl at the register about pre-orders and how his pre-order got screwed up somehow or something. Apparently he had pre-ordered a game for PlayStation 4 or something, and they put it down as the Xbox One or something. This conversation went on for like 15 or 20 minutes. So I'm sitting there tapping the fucking game on the counter. I'm doing like throwing it up in the air and flipping it around and playing drum beats on it and trying to give them every inclination that please hurry up. I just want to buy this fucking 3DS game that costs $20.
Right.
And okay, the guy, he looks over at me and he realizes that I have one small game in my hand, and he's like, he talks to the lady at the register and he's like, you want to go ahead and just let him go? You know, he's only got one game. And the girl looks at me and she's like, and then she looks back at the guy and she's like, no, I'll take care of you first. And I was like, what? At this point, it had been like 35 minutes. And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, and she proceeded to try to sell this guy games that weren't coming out until like 2020.
Oh, man.
Like for another 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And this guy was just like, he was giving me looks, like looking back at me every now and then, like, oh my God, shoot me. Like, I can't get this shit straightened out, and I just want to get the fuck out of here just as much as you do. And so finally I just took the game and put it back on the shelf and walked out. And I went and bought the games digitally on Nintendo Store. But that was horrible, man. Like, it was never like that back in the day when Electronics Boutique was around. And, you know, I just don't ever remember having any kind of experience where I had to wait for like 45 minutes because a clerk was trying to, what do they call that? Suggestive selling.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, oh, did you know this is coming out? Oh, did you know this is coming out? Have you seen the video for this? It was nonstop, and I was just so fucking pissed, man. Excuse my language, people out there in internet land, but oh my God. And so now I officially have dubbed all GameStops Stop Games. Because they stopped me from getting my fucking copy of Sega 3D Classics on 3DS that day, and it pissed me off really bad. And I will never go to GameStop again for anything, ever. I say that, and then...
You say that, but you'll probably be back in a month.
Well, I went to Walmart and got Skyrim remastered, so...
You're not going to wait for the Switch version? I want to get that on the Switch.
Oh, you... I'll probably get it on that too. It's a good game. It's a good game to have on all systems.
Yeah, I just got the like $6 Game of the Year edition on the PS3. I'll probably play through that, and that'll probably be about it.
I've never made it very far. Like, I've only played probably at the most ever I've played into that game was like maybe 12 hours.
Yeah.
And I feel like such a failure because I've owned the game like 12 times.
Yeah.
This time I'm going to stick through it, though.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's my GameStop story. It was funnier like a week ago.
GameStop, man, I don't know what to say about that store. Like, I pretty much do hate it, but I do find myself going back there every once in a while because, like, I don't know, just... It's a game shop, and you can kind of like dig through stuff and look at the back of boxes. And if I come across some kind of a really good deal once in a while, you never know. I might find something and be like, oh, okay, I'll spend the $6 on this.
Yeah,
like,
they do have a lot of good $6 games in the bins. You know what I mean? Like
that, and like sometimes they do the they buy two get one free deal, or like they have the $20 bin. Everything in it is $20 or less.
To all the stuff and find the video games though. At least in the GameStop in my area, it's mostly,
I know. There's like
mostly action figures and whatnot.
I saw there was like undies and T-shirts and bras and like weird backpacks, all kinds of shit, and it's just
all
like
Catherine merchandise.
I mean, I've got no offense against action figures. I collected action figures forever, but when you walk into a game store, you kind of expect to see games first. You know what I mean? and the other stuff should be kind of like to the side, I think. But at my GameStop, anyways, you walk in and it's like just a barrage of stuff that you, as a grown man, feel funny about buying. You know what I mean?
That's why you order on Amazon, man.
Or you at least have to think twice about it. You know?
Yeah, he's got kids. He can just...
It's impossible to take kids into GameStop too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's impossible to take your children into GameStop and actually look at games, because every 5 seconds it's like, Dad, look at this statue. Dad, look at this figure. Will you get me this pop figure? Will you get me this keychain? Will you get me this? And I've got nothing against buying my kids stuff, but when you just pop in to buy a $20 game, it's insanity.
Hey, can I interest you in buying Cricket Wireless? What the fuck is this in here for?
No,
but my
it comes out in 2021.
Yeah.
There's a reason to go to GameStop. It's for the $6 PS3 games. PS3 and Xbox 360 right now is where you want to be. There's so many amazing PS3 games.
I agree.
Last of Us for $6. I'm constantly going to I actually went to GameStop today. They didn't have anything, but like normally you can get really good deals. People are selling. I was just given a PS3 today for free, and I bought my girlfriend one. And she plays Skyrim. Like, it's still don't buy the new gen. Buy last gen, and then like wait for it to get cheap.
Oh, that's been I've been doing that since.
Well, here's my deal with the $6 games and stuff at GameStop is, for about 2 or 3 years now, I've been able to go to this pawn shop locally, and they've been selling Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 stuff for $5.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's like even a brand new, like a newer, like a later release for the PS3 or something that would be worth way more than $5 if you tried to cash it in somewhere or something.
Yep.
But and I'll stock up, man. I've got like 100 games now for PS3 that way. But
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I've been able to do that for a while, and they usually have a whole lot of games at that pawn shop. But yeah, you're right about grabbing those $6 games at GameStop.
That's awesome.
The one of mine barely has the cover, hardly ever has the actual cover for the game, though. It's usually a GameStop
I hate that.
cover.
They're generic GameStop covers. It's the worst.
They look so bad, too. Like,
the worst is the freaking 240p resolution printed outside shell.
You know what?
The
Honestly,
JPEG stretched 100,000 ways.
Honestly, I don't mind that as much as I do when I go to this other local game chain that's like only in the Tampa Bay area, and you can tell that they buy loose discs in lots, and then
they
just
really
like
do
print
actually
the worst, crappiest artwork, and so it's like thrown in. So like, if you like, I love looking through PlayStation 1 games because I mean, I love PlayStation 1, and there's so many like fun games that are out there that are cheaper. Like, a lot of people don't really know about, and I hate going to this specific chain to look through their games because it's like they mix them in alphabetical order with their like home printed artwork, and so they look terrible. And so it's just like hurts my brain to even like look through these PlayStation games.
Some of them are in black and white.
Yeah, and so it's like worse than going to like to GameStop and having their own printer stuff. This is even worse because they also sell their games for like the same price as if they were complete too. So
right,
you guys have probably seen that picture of the GameStop case where someone drew Elder Scrolls on the front. It's like a scroll with like a beard. So yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Saru, did you have any? Did we get you on the pickups?
No, I didn't get anything since the last time. Yeah, the only thing I got was a Duo R from Sci-Fic.
Well, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and then I picked up King of Fighters, and that was about it.
Word.
I was really bummed. I didn't get to like walk around and search for stuff because last year I did all my shopping before PRG started. Like all the dealers were like just trading and selling shit. But this year it wasn't the case. It was rough. I was pretty much at the booth the entire time.
Did you see any really popular YouTubers?
I mean, Pat was there, whatever.
Gamester 81.
Yeah, Gamester 81. Yeah, I mean he's really nice.
He's a good guy. I like John a lot.
Also, Omega Sin's been hanging out around here.
He wasn't at PRG this year. He was last year.
He's hanging out with Scott Swatch. which
okay.
actually I saw today working at a GameStop.
At the Largo flea market, which is very like
Yeah.
appropriate for him.
No, he's a super nice dude.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
Alpha Mego nice. Mega Sin's actually super nice too.
it's kind of just cringy.
Yeah, he seemed like a cool guy last year.
Sweet.
We ran into him at PRGE. He seemed cool.
Josh, did you want to talk about any of the other topics we're gonna hit up on?
I know I kind of wanted to talk about really disappointing sequels, but maybe we'll save that for another time.
Okay. We can talk about Spring of Mark II because I had that one prepared.
What one? Wait, what? Talk about what?
Spriggan Mark II?
Well, we don't.
Ooh, yeah.
We don't have to bring that up. We don't have to bring that up.
Okay.
I've never played.
Or download
Well,
too.
then we have a good topic for next time because I think we're running out of time tonight.
I hear you.
Disappointing sequels will definitely be in an episode upcoming. But anybody have any other comparisons they want to do, or was buying games back in the day better than buying games today, or do you think
Definitely.
definitely
There is the convenience of eBay.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time where you couldn't just think, oh, I could just buy that on eBay for like $5 more than it is here.
Yeah.
Or price charting or any of the internet tools. There's also an excitement to that. Like finding like a Battletoads, like I got this locally, but like finding a Battletoads like out in the wild would be amazing. But that doesn't happen. Like this is your only way you're gonna get one of these is through like friends of friends handing each other or eBay. So like
I wish I could talk about TurboZone Direct, but we don't have enough time.
Oh man, yeah, that was a great time.
I remember when I first found the ad for TurboZone Direct in the back of a EGM or something.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah. That was
and then they sent me the catalog, and I was just like, I would like study it like the Bible.
Was that a U.S. distributor or what?
They bought up all the remaining stock from TTI.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, TurboZone Direct was the only way to get new Turbo games from like 94 all the way to like 98 or 99.
Yeah.
They had all the games on stock for that whole 5-year span. It was
they the only distributor left because they bought out TTI or what?
They were the only place to get new games. So like Might and Magic 3, Magical Chase, Dynastic Hero, stuff like that. I'm sure Dan, if Dan was on the show, he'd be like, "You're wrong. Toys R Us had those."
Dude, let me say something really funny about TurboZone Direct real quick. I called them on the phone one time, and I was like, "Do you have any copies of Ninja Spirit left?" Right? And they were like, "No, we don't." And then they were like, "Hang on," and they came back, and they was like, "Okay, we've got one, but we don't. It doesn't have a case. It's just a hue card and a sleeve." And like, I realized that they totally just opened up a Turbo Duo and took the Ninja Spirit out.
Yeah.
And they sold it to me for $6, and I was like,
Nice.
hell yeah. So
That's so crazy.
those were the days.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome. They had $200 Duo consoles. They actually carried PC Engine stuff too. I picked up Panic Bomber from them for $39, I think.
Yeah, they did the imports for like $39 each.
Yep.
They ran out of. I don't think they ever had Dracula X, or if they ever did, they never made it to their like
I don't
catalogs.
think they did. They had like more common stuff.
Yeah, I got East 4 from them. East 4.
How much was $39 back then? Like $59 now?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
No,
roughly.
really? $40 is $60 now?
It's like $1 million now.
And video game pricing.
And video
I
games.
guess.
My local EB Games had Dracula X and a couple other like and a couple other import Saturn games and other things throughout the day, like back in the day, like especially Neo Geo Pocket. Like there was always import games for that at EB.
Oh yeah, EB Games back then and software.
Dracula X.
No, I used to buy games from like Babbage's and EB Games, but I'm having a brain fart right now. Did they sell used games? They didn't, right?
No, they were new, but they had new imports. Like they had new Sega Saturn imports.
Yeah, but they would never sell like a used game.
I remember EB having like those cards that had like, I don't know, 10 or 6 or something Neo Geo Pocket color
Yes.
games
Yep.
on it. Yeah. I do remember seeing those.
Huh.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
but yeah, I remember seeing specifically Dracula X and what's that one Saturn treasure shoot 'em up? Everybody's like crazy.
Radiant
Silvergun.
Silvergun at EB
I
Games.
remember
And,
Babbage's had that for the longest time too.
yeah,
That
like-
just was cool too. I thought, anyways.
Yeah, they were cool.
Oh yeah.
I got
Cool to
Splatterhouse
compare.
for $9.99 there once.
Nice.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
think we have Babbage's down here, do we?
Yeah, in Lakeland, I did.
It's still around.
Sorry, what are you drinking on?
Rum and Coke.
Word. Captain Morgan? Are you spicy?
I'm spicy. It's either Captain Morgan spicy rum or something called Bundaberg, which is
Well, you made it, don't you know?
Australian rum.
Which one is it?
Australian rum. That's a thing.
What am I drinking now?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Bundaberg,
Okay.
but I don't mind me some Captain Morgan spicy rum.
Word.
All right. Well, thank you guys so very, very much for being a part of the show this week. I want to, on behalf of all of our friends that are listening and everybody that's been watching the live stream on YouTube, thank you so much for being with us this evening. Thank you, Sarmaro, for being here for
Sure.
majority of the episode and bringing
It's been
your
a while.
smile. I know it's been a really long while, months in fact.
Yep.
Thanks for bringing your smiley disposition with you this week and onto the show. And also Patrick and Evan, thanks guys for being here this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's nice talking to you guys, and it's been a while. So
Cool, man. And Zach, thanks for being here and sharing your stories, man. It was really fun, and I hope you are not afraid to be on again in the future.
I will definitely be on again in the future.
Sweet.
I've seen
That's
it.
awesome. Nice. You're here, you're live and in color. Anyway, thank you everybody for being a part of the show. Thanks for everybody for listening. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good rest of your week and your upcoming weekend. I hope it is as lively as a sheep. Anyway, bye.
Wow. You would say that.
Meh.
Oh man. Bye guys.
bye.